Oh, we're with you again, dear ones. If you had known this being before, this whole computer thing that had just gone down would have elicited a temper tantrum. There are many, many experiences that she has these days that she is astonished at her patience. This was not a patient person. This was somebody who was on the edge of a volatile reaction all the time, and it was exhausting for her. And we know that all of you are in different places. Some of you are new to A Course in Miracles, and you realize that this is the thing that is really, really helping you. And you read all the hundreds of books or whatever it was that you were chasing and seeking. But you must remember that you come into this lifetime to chase your idols. That is why you came into separation, and you must never forget this. And this is one of the reasons why, even though the text of A Course in Miracles is very, very challenging to understand, within that text are all the theoretical explanations of why your ego does what it does, and how it works, and how it uses the body, and how it uses the world to hide yourself, your true self, from you. Your true self is made of love, from love, for love, and you have come down into separation because of the unloving aspects in yourself. And so when you look at your incarnation, what we want you to do is we want you to see that the first part of your life is not a failure. It is you chasing your idols. It is you seeking out within the separation experience those things that you still believed in. And so you had to come into this physical body to chase after them until you were tired of them. So if you are 35 or 45 or 55 and you are tired of chasing your idols, you have not failed. You have succeeded at what this incarnation was for. You were doing what you came here to do, which was to believe in and chase and acquire all of the things that you thought would make you happy. That's why you came into separation. If you didn't believe in them, you wouldn't have come here. And you have to remember that your physical body, this seemingly individual thing in which you find yourself housed, is the demonstration that you believe in separation. That is why you have a body. It is the most powerful ego device that is convincing you that you are alone. For you can look at it and say, look, this body is here in this room by itself. I am alone. Nobody loves me. And that is the illusion under which you are all functioning at till a certain point in your life, when you say to yourself, what I'm doing is not working. What I'm doing is not making me happy. What I'm doing is shallow, and it doesn't matter how many new sets of nails I get, or what car I drive, or how much money I have in my bank account. It doesn't matter. It's not making me happy. Where do I go? What do I do? And it is not until you ask those questions that these new pieces of information become to you. Why? Because before that, you're not teachable. You're not teachable when you worship your idols. You're not teachable when you think you know how to do it. And it is the ego's recipe for success. And most of you begin in your late 30s or early 40s after working very hard to chase your idols, whether it be sex, drugs, rock and roll, wealth, fame, prestige, whatever your idol is. They're all different. They're all the same. You have a unique pattern of idols that you've come in here to dissolve. But first, to experience, to chase, to relentlessly try and give it one more try. Well, that business failed. Now I'm going to go after this one because I want to be as successful as my father, or I want to be richer than my brother, whatever the motivation is in you. But it's not a loving motivation. You can begin to feel now, as you are settling down a bit in the early lessons, even if you are just beginning A Course in Miracles this year with our dear one and Jesus, you are beginning to see, look at me doing that. Look at me doing that. Here I go doing that again. And these are not things to be judged. These are things to be observed and accepted, and to come to know them. Why am I constantly wanting to earn more money? Why am I constantly endlessly traveling, even though it's not satisfying me? Why am I getting married for the fourth time? Why? What is it in me that is hungry for this? Now, you may not be able to answer that question, but what will happen as you go through the Course in Miracles is you will begin at first to just see what it is that you do that undermines your happiness. You will begin to see the relentless judgments of your body or your financial situation or other people or other people's bodies. You've got to remember that judgment is a disconnection from unity consciousness, which is your natural home. So anytime you judge anything, it doesn't matter if it's an internal judgment of yourself that's done in the quiet of your own mind. It doesn't matter if it's a judgment about a political leader. It doesn't matter if it's a judgment about a race. It doesn't matter if it's judgment about the weather. You are going to get an immediate feedback from your guidance system. That's a little dip in your energy, and you are going to feel it. What's happening, however, though, is because this world is based on projection, you will immediately go to the thing you judged as bad as the reason that you feel bad. You will say, if only that thing would change, then I could feel better. And that is this constant projection outside of yourself, either for the problem or the solution. And so these teachings are about bringing it home. But for all of you, none of you are, 20 years old. We don't want any of you to feel that you have wasted time. You have not wasted any time. Your failures aren't failures. They are valid experiences. Everything that you have been through has brought you into this room. Think about that. Every single thing that you have been through has brought you into this room with the truth. And so you are on the right track. Do not dismiss the years in your 20s or the years in your 30s or the years in your 40s where you seem to be floundering around. You were still chasing your idols. And the loving God that rules this universe that you see and can't see, there are many aspects of this universe that you cannot see, gives you the freedom because you are made in the image of God, which means that you are endlessly creative and you have free will. So if you still believe in money as your salvation, you will be given as many lifetimes as you need to chase that idol. Because time is not what you think it is, in the realms of the divine, time does not exist, sin does not exist, and this is why we all ask you to step back from judgment, because in reality, and we are not talking about this world is very much like a video game where you have a certain number of options open to you. And each option that you choose is going to take you through a particular experience. And then you master that level and you go up to another level. But the thing you know about a video game is it seems to be a new experience for you, but the program is written. You have all of these little devices within the virtual world in which you are experiencing the video game that seem to take you on a different route. But in the end, the game is a complete game. And this is very, very distressing for many of you, to think that your whole experience is played out. Well, it is, in a sense, being remembered. And this, when you have that feeling of deja vu, when you know that you've done something before, it is actually something you have done before. You are remembering. But as you are playing a video game, you know, oh, I'm choosing that button. I'm choosing to battle that monster. I'm choosing to walk up that flight of stairs. I'm choosing. But within the video game itself, the choice is somewhat meaningless. Now, this is hard for the ego mind. It wants to be in control. That is the part of the mind. It's a controlling, doubting, arguing, fearful, limited part of your consciousness. Why? Because it's the part that's in charge of separation. Separation. What is separation? It is the part of your mind that did not want to be at one with God. It is the part of your mind that went to God. And so the very fabric of this place is not loving. The very default setting of this place is separation. How do you know? All you have to do is look at all of the separate bodies that you inhabit, all of the unique configurations that this human race takes, but look at the separate leaves on a tree, look at the separate kinds of plants, look at the separate numbers of insects on your planet. Separation, iteration of separation upon separation. And what happens to all of these different iterations of separation? Something has to die for something else to live. It is not meant to be a depressing thing that we are telling you here, but we want you to look accurately at this place. Something has to die for you to live, whether it be a lettuce or a lamb. And for that lamb, something has to die for it to live, a blade of grass or another kind of vegetable. And for that vegetable to live, another kind of creature has to die. And if you actually look at the world in which you live, there is so much that is based on death. And this is the world of separation that we are teaching you to rise above. And so when you look at the years of trials and tribulations and difficulties and financial loss and divorce and losing children, you see this is not a world that's designed by a loving God. This is not a place of peace. This is a place of war. This is a place of separation. This is a place of loss. And now the body begins to fail in your 30s and 40s. Generally speaking, things start to go wrong with your body. You can get away with a lot of stuff when you're young. But as you age, you begin to see the veins breaking down or the muscular structure breaking down or the skin breaking down. And you begin to feel that even more so that God is a cruel God to put you in a body such as this. God did not put you in this body. God did not make this body. This is a device of separation. However, it is animated by you. The body is animated by you. When you leave your body and you see a corpse there, that is what the body is. It is an inanimate object. It is animated by the spirit coming into being. It is manufactured by the spirit coming into being. Your body does not make your consciousness. Your body does not make your soul. Your consciousness manufactures a body because it has some work still to do. And the power of this teaching is that you are able to master the physical material world through this practice because you are the animator. You are the force that is generating the intelligence that runs the body. Now, you don't have to think about what your liver's doing. Your liver's doing hundreds and hundreds of things right now. That is intelligence. That is life, vital life force. And that comes from spirit. And that is why the Western medical model is so good at dealing with acute injuries. If you fall and break your leg, there is an amazing array of technology at your fingertips in most countries. But you will see that over the last few decades, there is a decrease in your health happening. And that is because medicine has become God. And this separation that science has undergone from, we will say, spiritual morality, some kind of loving frequency, that is what you are witnessing in the deteriorating health of your own bodies and your medical system. So this idea of the multifaceted aspects of your health is something that we want to speak to you about today. And you are like a diamond that has not been polished. You see a rough diamond and it's a pure diamond, but the facets have not yet been honed to make it this truly, truly beautiful thing. You can also look at yourself like a mirror that has layers and layers of dirt on it. Both of these analogies work. You are pure light. That is what you are. That's what you all are. You are pure light and pure love. And you have hidden from yourself this truth. And this is what is speaking to you when you say to yourself, I can't do this anymore. Who is the you that doesn't want to do it, and who is the you that is doing it? There are two yous in there. And the reunification of you, bringing these two aspects of your mind together, is the process that the Course in Miracles assists you with. But if you understand that your belief in separation, your belief in your idols has literally created your world from the moment you were born, and the body that you are residing in, you must understand the power and the pervasiveness of the belief in separation and your idols that you came here to express and to experience. It literally has created your body. It literally has created your family. It has literally created the society you live in. And so when you are 2 years, 3 years, 4 years into dissolving the separation that you believed in so profoundly that it literally created this world, do not be disappointed in yourselves, but understand the magnitude of the process that you are involved here. We want you all to become a lot more forgiving of yourselves. And we know that we tell you to be vigilant. And in the beginning, because of the pervasive nature of your belief in projection, your belief in the world, your belief in the body, your belief in death, all of these separation-focused ideologies, you must be vigilant because you are now stepping away from separation. You are, in fact, going counter to everything that you have ever believed in with all your heart and soul. And so we want you to forgive your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and even your 50s if you're in your 60s now. We want you to forgive that and say, that's what my incarnation was for. I came here to play with my idols like a child playing with their toys. And that is what Jesus meant when he said, put away your toys, put away your childish things. Those are the idols that you came here to play with. This is not a failure. It is what every incarnation is for. Every incarnation gives you the opportunity to wake up, gives you the opportunity to chase your passions and desires and idols. Now, some of your passions are not idols. Some of them are deep-seated gifts that you have been given to share with humanity. And they have a different feeling about them. They do not have the grasping feeling of want. They have the gentle arising of heart. And each of you will know the difference. There are those of you perhaps that have some little addictions going on. It might be potato chips or cigarettes, or it might be pornography or something like that. And you feel there's an edge to that energy when you want that thing, or there's a fear when you think of giving that thing up. That is your clue that that's one of your idols. That's a clue that that's one of the things your ego is using in this physical 3D matrix to keep your frequency down. But there are other things that are inspiring to you, helping humanity, mastering a particular aspect of your experience. But you will know the difference in the feeling. One is a grasping, needing, fearful, addictive quality to it. The other one is like, wow, I've been feeling the need to do that ever since I was a little kid. That passion has always been there. I've not done it yet, but it's always there speaking to me. It could be a passion for horses or artwork or music. And what we want you to do as you're going through this training program is, first of all, those things to